All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. By the way, tomorrow on the show, former National College Basketball Coach of the Year. He's now retired. He lives here in Las Vegas, and he's got some Kobe Bryant stories he's going to share with us. He's going to come in studio. Larry Eustace will be joining us to talk about some pretty heartwarming stories involving Kobe Bryant. So he'll be joining us tomorrow as well. Some new revelations in regards to Michael Avenatti, some evidence that we have learned, and it's not good news for Michael. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Obviously, we'll have all the latest information on this impeachment trial. Obviously, Republicans are all – how many times could I say obviously, by the way, in 2 minutes? But obviously, Republicans are putting their case forward right now live as we speak. So we'll cover all that stuff tomorrow. But I want to talk quickly about the UNLV basketball game yesterday. So obviously going into it, this was the biggest game of the year for UNLV. I don't think anybody expected San Diego State to be number 4 in the country. But with that being said, this is one of the games that the game that you look on the schedule and you say, wow, what a huge game. It was a Sunday afternoon game against the number 4 ranked team in the country. It will be the biggest crowd UNLV sees all year, and it wasn't even close to sold out. But it was a decent crowd. And half the people in the Thomas and Mack Center, it appeared to me, were San Diego State fans. With that being said, by the way,
I would give it 11,000.
With that being said today, before I get to the actual game, I do have a story I'd like to share on the air. I'm talking with a friend of mine, Brian Salmon, who is a great guy. He's the head sports anchor there at Channel 3. And we're both kind of emotional because, like Brian Salmon, I'm a huge Kobe guy, right? And we were very saddened by the news yesterday, as many people were. But me and Brian, Brian interviewed Kobe Bryant 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I shook his hand and I said a few words to Kobe Bryant 6 months ago. I've interviewed Kobe Bryant over a dozen times. So it's personal to us, right? So we're having a heart-to-heart conversation at the game. We're sitting in the seats, and I'm saying, man, I think I used the F word. I said, gosh, this is effing awful. And a stupid San Diego State fan behind me, sitting with her husband, says, don't you dare use that language around me. I told her to go back to San Diego State. Go back to San Diego, you idiot.
Actually, I think I heard you say F you.
I did. I did say that to her. I did.
Because I was sitting next to Brian Salmon, and you're right, he had a great interview at the WNBA with Kobe Bryant. He also informed me that his sister lives in Kobe Bryant's sister lives in Vegas, and his parents live here too.
Yeah, but I want to go back to the story I was just talking about. So yeah, I did. I can't stand first of all, it's an emotional conversation. It's not like I said F you to somebody or I was extremely disrespectful. We're having a heart-to-heart conversation about a both person who we love to watch. We loved his career. We covered his career, which is Kobe Bryant. And I got some idiot from San Diego behind me. Her husband's sitting right there, by the way. He didn't say a word. I think he was embarrassed by her behavior. I do.
Yeah, that was weird. And they were up in the game, too. It's not like they were down.
Well, I told them to go back to San Diego. It has nothing to do with where the game was at, and it has everything to do with some of these San Diego fans are such snotty a-holes. Just go back to San Diego and stay there. I feel the same way about some of these BYU fans. They come to town, no gambling, no strip clubs. Then get the hell out of Las Vegas if you're a Mormon and you don't like it here.
Yeah, go back to your perfect weather every single day.
Get the hell out of here. How about some of these fans that live in Boise or Wyoming? How'd you like to live there? Go back to where you can. If you're going to be a jerk and you're going to sit in the Thomas and Mack Center and you're going to disrespect people, get the hell out of Las Vegas. I sound like Donald Trump, right? Go back to your S-hole state or whatever he said.
Isn't a Paul Bunyan beard a requirement to live in Wyoming?
That's a question I don't know how to answer, but I do want to talk quickly about the game. And, San Diego State really, really good. But I'm going to give UNLV a lot of credit. They hung tough throughout. Game was tied with 6 or 7 minutes to go. I think the score was locked in at 45-45. It seemed like for an eternity. UNLV did a very good job defensively. Guys like Mitchell really struggled. Flynn came up big late in the game. And make no mistake about it, Malachi Flynn is one of the best point guards in the country, and the cream of the crop rose, so to speak. San Diego State did not want to lose their first game of the year to UNLV, and Flynn took over down the stretch. I will say this also, Hardy was very, very bad in this game, and I think that has a lot to do with Flynn and has a lot to do with San Diego State's defense. I'll tell you, Hamilton was fantastic, though. UNLV's Hamilton really played well. Green came off the bench. He played some huge minutes for UNLV.
Okay.
I give UNLV a lot of credit, and I've given T.J. Outsberg a lot of credit. This coaching staff has done a very good job. They finally kind of got into their rhythm. They had a chance to beat the number 4 team in the country down the stretch, and I give them a ton of credit for that. With that being said, Amari Hardy can't have 2 points 35 minutes into the basketball game. That's terrible.
He's just not that great of an athlete, Brian. He's an okay athlete. He's a decent shooter when he gets hot. But
can you agree with me, though? There was no chance UNLV was going to win this game if Hardy has a game like that.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, the fact that Hamilton went for 29.
Yeah.
By the way, Bryce Hamilton, in my opinion, is the most improved player in college basketball.
He's a threat in the Mountain West.
I'm telling you, he's averaging,
fantastic.
I mean, he's had, I think, 26 points the last 4 or 5 games. They list him at 6'4".
Yeah.
Bryce Hamilton is every bit as 6'6" or 6'7". He has grown a lot. He's got a jumper. He's quick off the dribble. He's probably an NBA player at this point. And I think that Amari Hardy, if he doesn't pick up his game against better competition, there's a chance he won't start next year.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far, but anyway, it wasn't an embarrassing loss. UNLV played some tough defense. They fought back into the game.
What did I predict last week? I said they would play them close.
Yeah, and I said that too. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout, but anyway, it was an entertaining game to watch, and nothing embarrassing with the way UNLV played. They played very hard yesterday. Unfortunately, just couldn't get it done down the stretch. I'll tell you what I was disappointed in, and I'm not trying to bash anybody, and I understand the kids had a game to play, but I understand they're millennials and they probably didn't grow up Kobe Bryant like we did. But with that being said, they were both Hamilton and I'm trying to remember who the other player was that was at the press conference. They were both asked about Kobe, and they gave the standard answers. They said, "Listen, thoughts and prayers to his family. He was a legend, but we had a game to play." I understand that. I'm not going to fault them for that. It would have been nice maybe if they gave a little bit more. But I asked T.J. Otzelberger after the game. I said, "Can you give us your thoughts on Kobe Bryant?" It wasn't the first question in the press conference. I waited. He talked about the game. And he gave me kind of a standard answer. Thoughts and prayers to their family. He was a legend. But it was like a 10-second answer. And Christ, man, I'm thinking to myself, T.J. Otzelberger is my age, around my age. I thought I could have gotten a little bit more out of that. I was just a little disappointed.
He's only coached at the college level. He's coached in the Midwest. I'm sure he hasn't had too many interactions with Kobe Bryant.
You don't have to have interactions with Kobe Bryant to give a little bit more.
To go on a 2 or 3 minute, or even a 45 or a minute conversation or a statement about him, I think you have to have a little bit of personal experience with him. I don't have a problem with the way that, again, this was the biggest game of the year for UNLV in my opinion. They had a chance to really bring back the home crowd. I think people are going to keep coming back to the games. I mean, last year, UNLV, their toughest game was Nevada. They got blown up by 20 twice.
No, I understand that. I'm just talking
about. That's not happening this year. I think that Otzelberger recognized that, and so did his players. And I believe that's kind of a coached-up answer. But I don't have a problem with them saying, thoughts and prayers, but we're focused on this game. Because, again, the show must go on.
Okay, well, I do. And nobody said the show shouldn't go on. All I'm saying is it would be nice if I could get more than a 10-second answer. This isn't about me. This is about a legend and an icon in the game. Many of these people, he paved the way for many of these people. I'm not saying he paved the way for T.J. Otzelberger. But anyway, just a little disappointed in that. I think we all should be happy with the way UNLV played on Sunday. I'm glad they had a moment of silence. So we're going to take a 21-hour break, folks. We're going to cover everything and anything that is this impeachment trial. We will cover that tomorrow, the latest to Michael Avenatti in the Nike case. He is in court today. And, of course, we will continue to cover this tragic Kobe Bryant story. Larry Eustachy, former college coach of the year, will be joining us in studio. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Sean Hannity coming up next.